Hey everybody, a little bit of a late recap here tonight from the day game. Had to rewatch this, but yeah, Braves get it done in Game 1 of the series in Chicago on the South Side. Charlie Morton was impressive today. He had 6 strikeouts, only 2 walks, only gave up 3 hits. Of course, shutout, which the Braves staff kept up through 8 innings of work. Weird rain and weather, which I think is going to affect this entire series. But fingers crossed we get games in tomorrow and Wednesday. Don't want to have to play a doubleheader this early in the season, but we don't see the White Sox again, so I don't know how they would get around that, or if they would just say we have to play the game if it comes down to seeding or anything like that. But I doubt Major League Baseball wants to cancel any games this early. But I guess possibly we can make the games up when we're in Chicago to play the Cubs. I believe that's in June when we go visit Wrigley, but I'm not quite sure about that. But anyways, let's get into this game. Once again, just a fantastic showing by the Braves all around. Really nothing to complain about. Charlie Morton getting out of that first inning. I talked about this a little bit with Sale yesterday. And getting out of his bases loaded jam with only 1 run. Charlie Morton getting the bases loaded and then getting out of it unscathed. He had the confidence from that. You could tell. And with the cold with his pitch grip, especially his curveball was on. So no one could touch him. And when they didn't hit it very hard. And something we've talked about, especially in this series, or the series before this in Philadelphia, the Braves' defense is really good. So I trust Kelenic to be able to cover line to line. Same thing with Acuna, and Harris is a vacuum out there. So anything that hits the outfield, I expect to be called. Sometimes you're going to end up with some weird balls that land. We saw one later in the game that ended as a double, where it was kind of hooking away from Kelenic, and he let it go, thinking it might have landed foul, or he just wanted to recover on the bounce, and it hit the grass perfectly to hit it, and the spin was so perfect to send it straight into the wall on the side. So he underran it, then overran it. It was a very weird play, but I think we'll really not see that much of it this coming season. Very impressed, though, with the pitching staff today. Morton, Dylan Lee looked very good. Tyler Matzek in his limited action before the rain completely shut down this game. So, yeah, nothing to complain about. I thought the pitching was fantastic. So, from a hitter's point of view, I believe every batter got a hit today for 11 hits. So the Braves have scored at least 4 runs in every outing so far this year. They've scored over 9 3 times. So this is just a fantastic start to the season with what you wanted from an offensive perspective. Everyone got the hit. I've been very impressed with Jarred Kelenic. And you can notice how his swing has simplified even since the beginning of spring training. And I think he's finally starting to get used to it. He was starting to improve on that at the end of spring training and is really paying dividends now. So we'll see if he can keep that up, but I totally expect him to. The Braves have just been amazing at improving hitters. And they haven't done as well on the pitching side, outside of Jesse Chavez. But, hitting, they legit have a hitting lab. So, we talk about the Brewers' catching lab, the Braves have that in spades, just in the batter's box. And I would prefer to have, 9 guys that can hit over 1 catcher who can catch. As much as I love Wild Bill, he wouldn't have turned into what he currently is in Atlanta. Though, if he wants to come back, I would definitely never oppose that. Someone else I was impressed with today, Austin Riley, finally getting rewarded for his efforts. He was hitting the ball hard in Philadelphia. It just didn't seem to do what he wanted. He wasn't seeing the results that he might have deserved, but today he was fantastic. He had the one walk and then the homer right after the rain delay. That must be hard to lock back in right after a 45-minute just break. But new pitcher, second pitch, in the seats. Nothing you can do about that. And honestly, the White Sox probably got lucky with the temperature and the wind today. There was probably about 6 or 7 hits that were singles or doubles that could have been in the seats. So they probably lucked out. I'm going to probably try to keep this short and simple because it's late while I'm recording this. But we play again tomorrow. Finally, the first night game of the season. Actually, tomorrow. So, 5th game. If we get it in with the rain. If we don't get it in with the rain, there will be no video. But Wednesday, we're supposed to play in the day. And there's a chance of snow that day. So, of course, this team from the South, we have no clue how they're going to react when you get the white powder out there. And so they played a snow game a few years ago in Colorado, if I remember correctly. I believe they won that game. But I remember Ozzie Albies in that game just absolutely being bundled up and everything. So, I don't know. We'll see if we get it in. Anything less than a sweep this series would feel like a disappointment from everyone. And you can kind of get that feeling just watching them play, that they also realize that. And so, if this is the last game until our homestand starts against the Diamondbacks Friday, it'll be the last video. But if not, I'll see you again tomorrow or Wednesday, and possibly Thursday if we have to have a makeup game. So, anyways, I'll talk to you later, and go Braves.